From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is a severe weather alert.
All right, it's currently 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm Fred Gossett here along with Chase Wilson and Taylor Plott in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center with an update on the severe weather situation. Here's the line of thunderstorms, the complex of thunderstorms we have working across the area. It's a little more messy than a solid line now, as we've had some thunderstorms out ahead of that earlier complex merging in with stuff. We'll talk about the details of that here in just a moment. But until 1:15, we do still have severe thunderstorm warnings for central and western Lauderdale County, Alabama, about the entirety of Colbert County, Alabama, the entirety of Franklin County, Alabama, and far western Lawrence County, Alabama. That's a severe thunderstorm warning until 1:15. There are no warnings in southern Middle Tennessee, but there are some heavier thunderstorms moving through Hardin County, especially Wayne County, Tennessee, now easing over into southern, western parts of Lawrence County in Tennessee. Some frequent lightning with that, some heavy rain, and some 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts, but this has come across our live sensors, and we haven't had a wind gust topping 30 miles per hour with any of the Tennessee storms, so they are substantially below severe limits. And with no warnings, and with that the case, and us having ground truth of no severe winds with those, we're going to have to focus where the warnings are first, and then we'll come back to the Tennessee storms to detail those. But we'll focus over North Alabama first, where we have our complex of thunderstorms, and you see a bowing shape and a curl to the pattern. There's a mesoscale low pressure up here near the Cherokee area with some broad rotation. I don't really think that's an imminent tornado threat, but it's an idea that the overall complex is organized, and then that's focusing a damaging wind threat southeast of that. We can hold the radar steady here. Across Franklin County and southern Colbert County, that's coming across the US 43 corridor over the next few minutes. And I think the highest threat of 60, 70, 75 mile per hour straight line winds is going to be from Muscle Shoals, Tuscumbia, Sheffield, southward through the eastern half of Franklin County over the next 20 to 30 minutes as this line shifts east at 40 to 50. But there could still be some 50, 60 mile per hour straight line wind gusts up into the Florence area and the Lauderdale side of the Quad Cities and the Shoals metro area. So the entire polygon of the severe thunderstorm warning, I do want you to take this seriously and be inside away from windows until the storms pass. There's also a whole lot of lightning with these storms, so even if they weren't producing damaging straight line winds, you still need to be inside away from windows. Storms are going to be moving into the US 43 corridor here over the next few minutes. They're already doing that from Phil Campbell up through Spruce Pine, Isabel, and Russellville. But they're going to be knocking on the door of Littleville the next couple moments, into Muscle Shoals, Tuscumbia, Sheffield, and Florence here within the next 10 minutes or so. There's already lightning on the leading edge getting into the west side of Florence. Now, damaging winds are on the way in. We'll go to the Arctic Air Skycam Network, the Cherokee location. And Taylor, what you got over there?
So this is pointed southwest back into that hook feature. There is a lowering right there just to the left of that guy wire, basically right there. I'm not seeing anything on the ground, but it's definitely pretty low. Okay, a really low cloud base there, and there is a broad mesoscale low pressure rotation there. We'll watch that carefully. But what I was going to point out, in addition to what Taylor's pointing out, we just recently got a 50 mile per hour wind gust at this site. Now, this is on top of the hill that's on the south side of Cherokee, that's just south of US 72. So there is a little bit of elevation to this. It's on top of that big hill, and then these sensors are mounted on top of a tower that's there. So once you add everything together, you've got a couple hundred feet of elevation. So down in the valley part in Cherokee, the winds may not be quite that strong, but there could be 40, 50, maybe 60 mile per hour winds coming across Cherokee now into the Barton area and Hawk Pride and Colbert Heights here over the next 5 to 10 minutes, and then moving into the Shoals metro. But we're watching the low cloud basis. There is a mesoscale rotation here. We'll go back to the radar and go to storm relative velocity. And there is a broad circulation here, but you can see that it's pretty broad overall. It's more of an area of low pressure that's driving the overall
complex than it is a tight tornado-like circulation. It is a little bit tighter on the north side of Cherokee, but that's a transient feature that you'll see come and go. But this overall thing will drive the wind damage potential from Phil Campbell to Russellville to the Shoals Metro here over the next 10 to 30 minutes as it moves in. And again, we're talking about the potential for 50 to 65 mile per hour winds up into Lauderdale County. And then from about the Tennessee River southward, it may be anywhere from 60, 70 to isolated spots. Can't rule out as high as 75 miles per hour. Now we have just less than 10 minutes on the severe thunderstorm warning. It's going to be interesting to see what the National Weather Service decides to do with the warning. If they extend it eastward or so, I think they will, but we haven't officially gotten word of that so far. We'll be continuing to monitor that. We'll zoom out a little farther here. And you see that a lot of thunderstorms have been merging in with the bow echo itself, and that's interrupting the push of wind out from the bow echo and the overall structure itself. So that's the one mitigating factor we have for a higher end type wind damage event in our local area in North Alabama. Now you go northward in the southern middle Tennessee, and we can flip on the hot top radar or OHX or something like that. And we have a whole lot of heavy rain here from Hardin County into Wayne County, now into west central areas of Lawrence County, Tennessee. There's some frequent lightning with this, but we've had this come across a few different live sensor sites now, and it hasn't produced a wind gust over 30 miles an hour. Keep in mind that for storms to be severe, that wind needs to be 58 or higher. That's when you start having problems with power outages, trees being knocked down, that type of thing. Though you can get a few smaller trees or some drought damaged trees or something like that down at 40 to 45 miles per hour because of the rain weakening the tree root systems and such. But we haven't even seen winds to that in Hardin County or Wayne County so far. So these storms in southern middle Tennessee well below severe limits, and they're working over the environment now. We'll watch them as they move east over the next hour or two. But if they don't try to intensify, that may be it for the severe storm threat over southern middle Tennessee. We'll watch that carefully. There is still an isolated risk for our Tennessee counties, but I think the main threat for this afternoon, at least this first round, is focusing over North Alabama, especially along and south of Highway 72, and then we'll see how much the environment recovers for that potential evening and overnight round. There's still a big question mark on that. We'll go to the watch warning map and look at everything, and there is again still a severe thunderstorm warning here for central areas of Lauderdale County, large part of Colbert County, central East Franklin County, far western areas of Lawrence County in Alabama. That runs until 1:15. They are going to be issuing a downstream warning from this soon, so we will get new warnings across North Alabama here over the next couple of minutes. And there we go. All right, we're getting warnings all the way over in the Madison County now, so we'll get the new polygon here. Got new severe thunderstorm warnings over through the rest of our Alabama counties.
And I'll have that timing for you here when it pops up on the chat.
Yeah.
I goes till 2:15.
2:15.
All right, so they're just going to warn all the way ahead of this. We'll get to polygon in a moment. This is for the potential for 60, 65 mile per hour straight line winds.
East at 45.
East of 45. Yep.
All right, so it's for the overall complex. They're just going to warn ahead of it. No warnings in Tennessee because the winds are below severe limits.
They do say they're keeping the warning at 60 miles per hour, but watching it closely, especially the comma head for surging segments that would make them do a considerable tag for 70 plus.
Yeah, and I do agree with that, especially once it gets over into what may be a little bit cleaner environment closer to I-65. Now, for Madison County, it triggered the warning for you, but notice it's just a little sliver here west of Madison, right near the county line. But effectively now we have severe thunderstorm warnings, you guys said, till 2:15?
Yep.
For the eastern part of Lauderdale County, pretty much from Alabama 17, US 43 eastward, in Colbert County from Highway 43 eastward, and in Franklin County from Highway 43 eastward. We have all of Lawrence County, Alabama in the severe thunderstorm warning, all of Limestone County, Alabama in the severe thunderstorm warning, western and central Morgan County in the severe thunderstorm warning, and then they're clipping western parts of Madison County as well. Let's do a storm track east at 50 along the leading edge of that complex with a bow track. I want the entire bow echo, not just the middle part of it. And let's go east at 50 and do some times of arrival. You may have to do this show range up to, let's redraw that and let's get a little bit farther north.
Oh, sure.
As well. Let's go as far north to where it'll click Lexington and such. Yeah, there we go. And then east at 50, do a show range of 50, and then you may want to carry it out 60 minutes or so. We'll get some times of arrival here.
There you go.
All right, and then we'll scroll through as we need to. All right, so St. Florine at 114, the damaging winds are starting to move into Florence, Tuscumbia, Muscle Shoals, Sheffield over the next couple minutes. That's why you don't see them on the plot here. They're pretty much moving in between now and 2 or 3 minutes from now. St. Florine 114, Zip City 115, Leeton 118, Killen 120, Town Creek 126, North Cortland 132, Cortland 133, Moulton 133, Rogersville 136, Lexington 136, Anderson 141, Hillsborough 141, Coxsey 143, Good Springs 147, Trinity 148, and we'll scroll down. Decatur at 155, Tanner 157, Hartselle at 156, Athens 158, Priceville at 2 o'clock, Falkville 202, Elkmont 202, Somerville 207, Capshaw at 208, so I would say Madison 210 or so, and then over into downtown Huntsville around 215, 220 for time of arrival, 215, 210 to 220. I would also say for places like Valormosa Springs, over to Lacey Springs and down to the Eva area. This will continue on through Madison County. It will continue on through Morgan County once it gets over there in about another hour or so. So until 2:15, severe thunderstorm warnings. Eastern and central Lauderdale County, Alabama. Eastern and central Colbert County, Alabama. Eastern Franklin County, Alabama. All of Limestone County, Alabama. All of Lawrence County, Alabama. Western and central Morgan County, Alabama. Western Madison County, Alabama. There are no warnings in southern Middle Tennessee because the storms, even though they're loud with lightning, they are well below severe limits. Keep in mind, lightning does not make a storm severe warned. The only thing that makes a storm severe warned is 58-mile-per-hour winds or stronger, or hail to the size of quarters or larger, and we do not have that in the storms in Wayne and Lawrence counties in Tennessee. They are substantially below severe limits. Should that change, we will pass on warning information, but there are no warnings, no severe storms in southern Middle Tennessee. The severe storm threat for now is focusing over North Alabama. We'll continue to watch things carefully. Should any little rotations tighten up in the line, should tornado warnings be issued in the line, we'll come back as necessary. Otherwise, we'll do another live update here. We'll say, all right, next scheduled one is at 2 o'clock. Should anything suspicious in the line happen or the threat of wind damage increase in the line prior to 2 o'clock, we'll be back live if necessary. What you got, Taylor?
Hey, take the Cherokee camera real quick.
Okay.
Just want to get you guys' opinion on this. This is pointed back towards roughly the northeast. You see that little funnel type looking thing right there in the center? If I'm correct in getting the bearings from where that camera is located, this is looking directly back into where that kind of better slightly hook feature is. So I'm not
now it's
sure.
already dissipated.
It's already dissipated, but we're getting a good look at
that's where your mesoscale rotation is, but that looked like that was scud more than anything.
Yeah.
But you do have a rotation there, a very broad one.
It's very broad. And it just kind of it stood out to me right there. It looked very suspicious. It was in that kind of general area.
Oh yeah, I see that on there.
Yeah, Chase is kind of looking at the radar. This is looking back as it's crossing the river right now. It looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, and it looks like whatever that was, I think you're right. I think that was scud.
I mean, because it's already gone, so it had to be.
It's already gone, so it had
I
to
would
be,
agree with that.
All right, so we'll continue to watch things carefully. Should the wind damage threat increase with the warnings, or should there be a suspicious tight rotation or anything, we'll come back quickly as necessary. Otherwise, the next live scheduled update will be at 2 o'clock. For Chase Wilson and Taylor Plott, I'm Fred Gossage, live from the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Stay with Tennessee Valley Weather. We'll keep you advised.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.